How do you become aware of what chakra is getting imbalanced?
She just got up from a chair and she came around and she put her hand on my back. And that's where the back heart chakra is, right? And back heart chakra is where all the stuck emotions are, okay? Things that you're not able to process and expel.
Yeah.
She just came and she put her hand behind and I just burst out crying. It still gives me goosebumps when I think of that moment. And I just howled and cried.
What if I told you understanding the 7 chakras, the energy centers in your body, and how crystals can open them up, can heal your thyroid, solve overthinking and anxiety, and attract in the relationships you want? In this week's episode of Desi Wisdom, we have with us Molly Kapoor, an energy alchemist and Pranic Healer, explaining exactly what you need to know to activate and balance your chakra system so you can align and attract in what you desire most.
The minute that clarity came that this is not what it is, it should be something else. Suddenly I got people who will help me treat my thyroid. There was a time in my life where I had all kinds of problems, whether it was relationships or my health or my own self-worth. I was suffering from all angles and it just felt as if I'm going into a deep dark spiral which is downwards. I also remember a day where I just told myself, I think this is the last day.
Welcome. Thank you for being on Desi Wisdom, Molly. Where did your name come from?
Oh, okay.
Molly.
Yeah, Molly is okay. So even a lot of people used to ask me, okay, yeah, Molly is a male name in India. So how
is it?
come? Yeah.
Okay.
A lot
like
of South
in the
Indian,
US, it's a girl name.
it's a girl name.
Yeah.
Yes. And yeah, so some people used to say what you just said, like it's a Christian name. Some people told me it's a South Indian name. Some people say, Molly is a drug. And before that, I really did not know any of this. I used to just love my name.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then I started, when I started reading about it, Molly is a very universal name.
Yeah.
So Mother Mary,
Yeah.
her name is Molly.
Yeah.
And the drug is Molly, yes.
Yeah.
Then Molly is it's the religious thread that we wear, the Hindus, the red thread.
They call it Molly?
That's Molly.
I've never heard that.
Yeah.
But I thought it's like Raksha.
That's Molly. It's called Molly for Raksha.
Oh.
The significance is for protection.
Okay. Is that where your parents named?
I don't
Why they
know.
named
I
you?
don't know. When I asked them, how did you think of this name? They also just said that my aunt recommended and they loved it.
Yeah.
So that's
That
how
was
it
it.
happened, yes. But I was so happy to know the deeper meaning behind this.
Yeah.
And I really loved it. Even
Yeah.
more when I got to know what it means.
Yeah. I didn't know the protection
Yeah.
piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, it's linked to all spirituality.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Because when I heard your name, I just think about the US Christian version of the name.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. And I did not know this aspect of it. I just knew that, okay, fine, from a religious standpoint, it means protection, but protection is really a spiritual context.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then I just, that was it.
Yeah. I know. So you still love your name?
I love it and nobody forgets my name. That's the best part.
Yeah.
I can get away with forgetting names.
Yeah, it's memorable. For
Yeah,
sure.
it is. It is.
I know. I love my name too. Like in the US, they think it's like, they use the word exotic, which is like a weird thing
It's
to
poetic.
to say. But
Kavita,
yeah.
yeah.
But I love my name because of the meaning of it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the first question I have for you is, what had you feel drawn to becoming a pranic healer?
Okay, so it's really a spiritual what do I say, code. Okay.
Yeah.
The code is you have to go through shit to come out on the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah. So any spiritual elevation, awareness comes after a lot of lessons, a lot of difficulties, a lot of tests. And you can ask anyone who's on the other side and they will agree with this.
Yeah.
And that's how it happened to me. There was a time in my life where I had all kinds of problems. Right. And whether it was relationships or my health or my own self-worth, I was suffering from all angles. And it just felt as if I'm going into a deep, dark spiral, which is downwards. And I also remember a day where I just told myself, I think this is the last day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that time I said, this is probably the last day of my life. But I think universe just wanted to make me understand that this is the last day of suffering. Okay. And from the next day, I don't know from where, suddenly I started, people started introducing me to, let's say, a spiritual healer. Okay. Like, when you're suffering and your friends are watching you, some of them will start recommending a few solutions. And that's how this came about. Okay, why don't you meet a healer?
Yeah.
Okay. And that time I just wanted to save myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like willing to try everything.
Yeah.
And I went and
Sometimes
met.
when you're at the bottom,
I mean,
you don't have any other place to go, right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
So you still give it your last and you say, okay, fine, let me see what this, where this takes me. So I met her, and just after, like in the first meeting, I still remember that she heard me. And of course, they are healers, right? You don't have to over-explain yourself to healers. They understand what you're not saying also. And she just got up from her chair and she came around and she put her hand on my back. And that's where the back heart chakra is, right? And back heart chakra is where all the stuck emotions are, okay? Things that you're not able to process and expel.
Yeah.
She just came and she put her hand behind and I just burst out crying. I don't know what happened in that moment. And I just felt that a huge block of energy has erupted out of me like a volcano. That was
felt
a
like a
feeling
volcano.
like a volcano.
Yeah.
That's how I felt.
Yeah.
It still gives me goosebumps when I think of that moment. And
Yeah.
I just howled and cried.
Yeah.
And after that moment, like it just happened for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And after that, I felt really light, like lighter. Okay?
Right.
And something inside me told me that, this is good. It already felt so good. And then when she explained to me how good it can get once I kind of start working on myself, then I think there was no looking back. I just trusted her completely and I gave myself to her.
Yeah.
And then one after another, so she was a part of my journey for some time. Then another healer came in. Then another healer came in. And you know how, it just kept building.
Yeah.
So I not just healed myself, I also learned healing.
Yeah.
Because see, how long can you go to a doctor?
But before you go there, I want to ask you a couple of things. So what was happening? Like, what was one thing that was going so wrong that kind of got you to this place where you're like, I'm spiraling down?
I think it's not just one thing. It's just...
what was one of the things?
One of the things, maybe, so I will take it back to my childhood.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't start from, one incident in your life. There will be multiple instances that will record if your frequency is stuck in an emotion, right? So if my emotion is shame and guilt, I will attract continuous circumstances which are around shame and guilt. So my biggest lesson, and it could be karmic also, right? So my biggest lesson, I think, was self-love. Okay, so all the relationships that I was in, so whether it's when I was not married, I was in a relationship, or when I got married, or after I got married, there was like a typical pattern.
What was the pattern?
Pattern was that I had no or less self-worth. Right? The self-love was very less. I was like too overgiving. I did not understand, toxicity.
Okay.
And I felt that toxicity is like pretty normal, although it didn't feel right.
Yeah.
Right. And I realized that I'm choosing situations which are disturbing my vibrations pretty much. And I could see the dissonance. I could feel the dissonance, but at that time, I did not know how to verbalize it or how to, I used to ask for help, but I did not know what help I needed. Okay. So when I came into this path, I realized that all the help is within me. There's no other person who can help me because, all due respect, when people want to help you also, they're coming from their perspective.
Yeah.
That may be right or wrong for you.
Yeah.
Right? It's not necessary that everybody's advice is right for you.
Right.
Right? So...
well, you need help. I think what people miss is if you need help digging, right? You need help digging into things.
Yeah.
And when you're going to a friend
Yeah.
or family members, they don't know how to,
They're coming from their perspective, their
they're not
life experience.
experts. Yeah, they're not experts in digging,
Yeah.
and digging in a way that helps you see yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's called holding space for someone, right?
Yeah.
And that has to be a very safe space where you can go within.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So
I think like
yeah.
the idea of like self-love, I know like I grapple with this sometimes. All of us suffer from self-love, right?
Yeah.
I feel like it's our part of our soul's journey to free itself, right? Liberate itself. So in that journey, our humanness is always going to feel some level of not good enough, some level of not feeling like you're worthy, and so like the way that I sort of relate to it is like there's no destination with it at all. It's like sort of, and even to me, like sometimes it's still all sitting there all the time.
It is. Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
And so when you're saying like you were suffering from self-love, like what do you specifically mean by that? Like, was it just like this negative self-talk, or like, was it just like, oh, I kept getting into these relationships that like they didn't choose me, or I just, I wasn't feeling taken care of, or what was it?
Yeah, it was, I think, a feeling of abandonment within a relationship. Yeah. So they were not like having my back.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was looking for someone who would have my back externally, but I realized that I didn't have my own back.
Yes. I get that too.
Yeah. So therefore, if I didn't have my back, how will I expect somebody else to come into my life and do that for me? It's not possible. So if I'm approaching relationship from a position of void, and void is that I'm looking for support.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is the void. Okay. I'm just expecting somebody else to fill it. I'm not filling it myself. So this is also an act of self-abandonment.
Yeah.
This is also an act of. So I was just self-abandoning. And that came from my past wounds also. Yeah. So it's a trend. So, and see, spirit wants to learn and grow, right? So there is absolutely no judgment here, even for myself.
Yeah.
When you understand the journey of a soul, you will really appreciate all those people who made you feel abandoned. Yeah. Because they are all angels.
Yeah.
Disguised as difficult people.
Yeah.
Okay. Who are trying to teach you self-love.
Yeah.
Or they are trying to teach you faith.
Yeah.
Or they are trying to teach you love.
Yeah.
Or they're trying to teach you peace.
Yeah.
They're all angels.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or it's just past karma also, right? That you have with that person and you need to move through.
Yeah, possible.
Right?
That's also possible.
Yeah.
But I just look at them as my teachers, like how I have gone through life, you've gone through life. Everybody has gone to a school. We've passed every standard, every class. Okay, there have been teachers to teach us. We've learned, we've given tests. We've learned lessons. Either we fail or we pass.
Yeah.
Life is exactly like that.
Yeah.
So they were my teachers. I kept failing. I did not learn my lessons.
So I kept going.
Yeah, I kept failing. But then there came a time where I passed.
Yeah.
So,
But I mean, I also feel like is there a pass? You pass? Because even like there's so many patterns that I've even looked at for myself, you know, and I feel like, okay, I moved through it, or I felt at the moment I moved through it.
Yeah.
And then another layer shows up that's similar.
Yeah. Similar.
Or underneath that, or, you could phrase it anyway, but I've experienced it as like, there's no like past, like I've passed this level.
Yeah.
Yeah. I at least that's my experience, but
which is okay. So you study science, you study that in 7th standard, 8th standard, 10th standard, 12th standard, you study science even in post-graduation.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's true.
So you are studying science, but the lessons are becoming more beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gaining deeper knowledge about that subject.
Yeah.
Right?
That's true.
So that's what is happening.
Totally.
Yeah. And there will be a time where you'll be an expert. Also,
I don't know, expert.
but maybe another lesson will come up.
Yeah.
Right.
You become an expert at identifying and becoming aware, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
So in that moment when she put her hand on your back, what was the emotion? Do you know?
I think it was very intense. I did not control myself that point in time.
Yeah.
I was the most authentic that I could ever be. In that moment, I think I was the most real self, the most authentic. And I just let go. And the feeling of that volcano coming out, later I realized that I was holding so much inside, not able to express. And that entire expression came out as, a loud cry.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's why I felt lighter, because see, when you are able to express yourself, you feel light.
Yeah.
That's healing. Yeah. So in that moment, I was healed a little. But see, what happens is when you're holding too much inside, it starts impacting the physical body as well, right? So at that point in time, I was having a lot of gut issues, digestive issues. My heart used to feel divided in two parts. I used to feel that kind of hurt and heaviness in my heart. I got thyroid. Thyroid is when you're not able to speak your truth. If you're holding something within, people get thyroid. It's a throat chakra imbalance.
Yeah.
Right? Brain was absolutely messed up. So much of overthinking that I can't tell you. Like I could not think anything else beyond my problems.
Yeah.
Yeah. Slowly I was losing faith also, right? Faith is crown chakra, right? And then everything else, so much of fear. Fear is your root chakra.
Yeah.
So much fear that I felt that, I'm gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all my chakras were disrupted.
Yeah.
And it was showing up as physical issues. Yeah. So when our chakras are not balanced, and it can start with one unhealed emotion, which gets stored in one of the chakras. It can be hurt, it can be fear, it can be guilt, it can be shame. And that one imbalance starts imbalancing other chakras, because with that imbalance, you are attracting more imbalances of similar nature in your life. And that keeps spiraling and becoming bigger. Yeah. So you know how it's just a cycle?
Yeah.
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 So you have to break out of it.
You have to break the cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then when she did that, was it like sadness? The cry, or you don't know, like it was
a release.
Mix of emotions.
It was just a release, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that back heart chakra had a significance.
Yeah.
Why would somebody come all the way and put her hand behind? Because she knew she's a healer, right? And she knew that my back is very heavy. There's congestion there. She just put her hand behind, and I just released. In that moment, I don't know how much I released, but yeah, I did.
Yeah.
It was surrender.
It was surrender. Yeah. So then you met some other healers, and then there was like a point at which you felt like, okay, I want to do this too.
Absolutely. I think that one meeting was my turning point.
Yeah.
Because I promised myself that I'm never going back to that situation and position where I had taken myself there.
Yeah.
And the day I decided and surrendered, one after another, only high vibrational people were, coming into my life. So basically, in that moment where she kept her hand behind, I think I changed my vibration.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you offload negativity, automatically your vibration goes slightly up. And then you start attracting people who are only taking you, upwards.
Yeah.
So that's what happened. And one healer after another. And then I studied Pranic Healing.
Yeah.
I did multiple levels of that course. And Atman is my way of giving back.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've seen my journey, and I've seen how beautiful it can get. Once you decide internally that this is not where I belong, universe supports you. That's what I know. So I'm there for people now.
Yeah.
If ever anybody needs me, and I try to help them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you started to work on your chakras, right? So you were saying you were even suffering from thyroid.
Yes.
Is that healed?
It's healed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you share about like what, we're just taking one.
Sure.
I know there was multiple things you just said, but even just taking your thyroid, what was the journey of healing that?
See,
And so you don't take any medication for it?
no, I don't.
Okay.
I took medication for 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah. And I knew that this medication is only going to go up because I started with 25 mcg and then it went to 50 and I knew that next is going to be 75.
Yeah.
But thankfully, I was already 10 years down in my spiritual journey as well. And something in me told me that no, there has to be some other option.
Yeah.
I don't want chemical to control my body.
Yeah.
Like medicine is a chemical, right?
Yeah.
So, and then the day I decided, suddenly solutions started flowing in.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, mental clarity. We need to have that clarity, which takes time, right? And it depends on where you are in your vibration, how soon that clarity comes to people. The minute that clarity came that this is not what it is, it should be something else. Suddenly I got people who will help me treat my thyroid.
Mm.
Yeah. So one is obviously I started focusing on healing my throat chakra. I started doing yoga for my throat chakra. There are postures that heal. Because see, yoga is also a practice of energy.
Yeah.
Okay. Pranayam is a practice of energy. So I started concentrating on my throat chakra while breathing.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So it's like constantly clearing the prana. Then I met a lovely trainer who promised to me on day one that whatever you're suffering, like still suffering in terms of your physical health, I'll take care of it. You just follow what I'm saying. So he was my second spiritual healer in a way. Although he was teaching me physically, yeah, but I just surrendered with him. Mm-hmm. So you tell me whatever you want to do. And today, like not even today, like in probably 1 year with him, my thyroid was gone.
Wow. And so what was some of the process of that? Like, is it just energy clearing constantly?
Yeah.
I know you're doing some physical exercises too, but
right.
Is it just energy clearing?
Yeah. So see, everything is energy.
Yeah.
All right. Energy clearing. So I explained what all I did, but food is energy, right? What we speak is energy. Yeah. So I was very mindful of what I speak and don't. Yeah. So criticism is something that will lower my vibration. I got to understand that. And I immediately cut off criticizing people or self-criticism. Yeah. Or gossip is another way to lower your vibration of throat chakra. Why do that? So I eliminated few things from my life, and the new things that came are the strength training, the physical workouts, focusing more on clearing my throat energy, food, because food is also energy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So cutting out low vibrational food, choosing high vibrational food, everything just cleaned my body.
What was that? Like, what do you mean by high vibrational food or low vibrational food?
There are many videos about, and there are scientific videos where doctors explain, trainers explain as to what is the right food for your body, right? Although they focus only on the protein aspect, protein and the fat and the carbs.
That's the
right.
Huge, those are the three big ones. Yeah,
absolutely. But if you understand food energetically, there are two kinds of food. One is food that nurtures you and helps you keep your energy clean, and then there is food that doesn't nurture you, basically. Although you are feeling satiated, you're feeling nice after eating that food, but it's not really helping you.
Yeah.
Okay, so like fried stuff. Fried sugar. Sugar is, of course, a big... Scientifically, we understand it, but sugar is nothing, really. It's not... it's a low vibrational food. I don't know if I can say this or not, but pig is very low vibrational.
Pig?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can say that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So generally meats.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are low vibrational because there is a trauma attached to it.
Yeah.
Okay, now when we have this conversation with meat lovers, they say,
I'm vegetarian.
I'm generally saying that people have this question and it's a very valid question.
Yeah.
When they ask me, you're also plucking you're plucking fruits, you're plucking vegetables, that's also trauma. But please understand the energy difference between the two. The energy difference is nurturing. One will still grow. Even if you pluck a flower, another flower will come. So the basic energy of a plant or a fruit or a vegetable tree is growth.
Yeah.
The energy of flesh is not growth.
Yeah.
If it's gone, it's gone.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm Jain, and in Jainism they describe it as, you have 5 senses. We have 6 senses. Sorry, I meant to say there are senses. And plants have 1 to 2 senses. And some insects have 1 to 2 senses.
Yeah.
Then they go up, right? Some insects have 3 to 4 senses.
Yeah.
Then animals, most animals have 5 senses.
Yeah.
And the more senses you have, the more suffering they go through.
Yeah.
Hence, from what you're saying right now, the more trauma there is attached to it, right? And so, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. So in a way, trauma is only releasing you.
Yeah.
So it's okay. They are going to the next sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then the energy that we are consuming, we have to be concerned about that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So let's say I have a pet. I don't know if you have.
No, I don't have a pet.
I have a dog.
Yeah.
And generally, you will get a dog when you are ready to heal.
Ready to heal?
Yeah. Any animal for that matter.
Yeah.
When you're ready to, because when they come into your life, they are high vibrational.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you, let's say, remove mind from a human, they will be literally like dogs.
Yeah.
Because dogs they are very authentic.
Yeah.
They are heart operated. They just operate from their hearts with love.
Yeah.
So who are we? We are heart and mind. You remove mind, we'll be dogs.
Yeah.
We'll be so loving.
Yeah.
You
They are
know,
very
so
loving.
that's what you just said. The next level of suffering comes when mind gets added to us.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like everybody says this when they have a pet. I don't want to take care of a pet. So.
Which is okay.
And I like my freedom.
But that's not the only way to heal.
No, totally.
Absolutely, yes.
But
Children is one more.
Yeah.
Children bring in a lot of growth.
Yeah.
A lot of lessons.
Yeah. I feel like people bring in a lot of growth.
I know, yeah, they do.
Right?
They do.
But yeah, so you started healing. So how long ago did you start to do the chakra work inside of yourself?
From that day when I met the healer.
Yeah.
Because it's a journey. It's you can't undo something which has been happening for many, many lifetimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it takes time.
Yeah.
And it takes very sincere effort.
Yeah.
You can't just eat something healthy once in a week and hope that you will be healthy, right? So it's a lifestyle, and then and it's a belief system. So you have to totally believe that things are going to change. But if you don't believe, then even God is just an idol, right?
Mm-hmm.
Belief is internal.
Yeah.
So you have to surrender.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how many years was that about?
I'm still on that journey.
You're still on it.
Yeah. It's a continuous journey. There is no end to it.
Yeah.
We can just keep growing. There's no end to growth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then as you're healing your throat chakra, what are the other chakras? Were you working on all of them?
Yep.
Because that's what you were saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Biggest chakra system is like the electric circuits. So imagine them as 7 bulbs in your body.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if all of them are absolutely balanced, they'll be glowing.
Mm.
Yeah. But if, let's say, one is disturbed due to some emotional wreck or an instance that you faced, it'll start flickering. Okay. Let's say you got hurt. So your heart chakra will start flickering because it's now not as healthy as it used to be, right? Now, what happens to the other chakras? Now, if they have to produce the same amount of energy, they'll have to start overworking. Yeah, to maintain the same level of energy.
Mm.
Can a machine keep on overworking? If the
No.
capacity of the machine is 100 kilograms, can you keep on producing 120 kilograms from that machine every day? You can't. So over time, what will happen is that the breakdowns will start happening in other chakras also. Yeah. So all the chakras after a time will start shrinking. So the machine that was supposed to give 100 kgs of output will now give you probably 80. And if you continue the bad machine at 80 kgs, there'll be a time where it start giving only 60 kgs. That's how the chakra system, it shrinks. So it starts somewhere, but then it spreads. And then bulbs fuse.
Got it. So then how?
And also you can reverse it. It's the same process to reverse it.
Yeah.
You fix one bulb.
And the others start to come alive again.
Yeah, they start balancing each other and they start supporting each other.
Yeah.
That's how it is. Yeah.
So but is there ever a balanced state?
There is.
Yeah. And can you just stay there?
Yep.
Yeah. Even just as like a layperson
Yeah.
doing things every day.
It's very rare,
Yeah.
very rare, but it's possible.
Yeah.
The one time that everybody experiences balance is when they are born. Child.
Yeah.
Pure, absolutely pure. Child has not experienced the world. Child has
But
not
are they bringing in their past?
but they're not aware of it.
Yeah, they're not aware of it.
Yeah.
Right.
Child only knows that, oh, if I'm hungry, I will get food.
But are the chakras aware of it? Are they aware of the
At that moment, when the child is born, they are the highest frequency.
Yeah. Yeah.
After that, life happens.
Yeah. Which is like 2 seconds later.
Then karma starts.
Which is like 2 seconds later.
See, karma is actions.
Yeah.
Okay, karma is nothing else. Karma is, and this life is just one life. So if you see karma, we don't see karma only in this life. We see karma as a soul journey. So whatever have been our actions in the past and the actions that are coming, it's all part of karma. And karma again is not only negative karma.
No.
You can cancel negative karma with good karma. So it's like a bank account statement. You can cancel a debit with a credit.
Yeah.
It's very simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anything can happen. Like, I'm just trying to bring it to like day to day, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like day to day, I don't know, I get into argument with my husband, let's just say, right? Or my child has a tantrum or something. And so I'm just going to imagine that hits my heart chakra. Right?
It does, yeah.
And so things like this are happening constantly, right? And so how do you manage the different chakras, and how do you know what to do? Yeah.
Yeah. So great question. The first thing is we don't manage chakras. Chakras manage us. They are the factories. All that we can do is take care of our chakras, keep them healthy and balanced. Yeah. Now, if your heart is already hurt, and if a little instance happens which you don't like, it'll hurt your heart very deeply. Yeah. But if your heart is healthy, you will not even notice smaller hurts. You'll just let go of them. It's fine. It's fine. You'll understand rather than judging. You'll be in the flow state rather than controlling. Why do you feel hurt? Because you wanted a certain outcome that did not happen.
Yeah.
Yep. That's a state of control. You wanted to control that outcome. Yes or no?
Yes.
It did not happen. It hurt you. So the only thing that we can control is ourselves. And control comes from a low frequency. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, it comes from a low frequency.
Yeah.
The minute we raise our frequency, that control goes.
Yeah.
Then you're in a flow state.
You don't have to manage everything.
You're not judging anyone. You understand if your husband has said something, you understand the perspective. You understand, okay, he has some lessons to learn. I have some lessons to learn.
Yeah.
And let's just move on. It's okay.
Yeah.
I hope you love this episode of Desi Wisdom. Please leave a comment below telling me if you liked it, if you didn't like it, what you would have wanted more of. It really helps me refine this podcast to give you exactly what you want. I will be reading every comment and responding.
Yeah. But how do you do it from a pranic standpoint, from like an energy standpoint? What can you do to just, because if you were just saying, if your heart chakra is already down, and then you're not working on these things, you're just living, and you get hit, you're not gonna just release it fast.
No, you won't,
because it's weak, right? So what can you do to start to move that energy?
Yeah. So I'll just take you back to the analogy of a circuit, right? So let's say if your heart is already hurt, and you will attract more hurt because your frequency is hurt frequency now, right? So you will have instances where your husband will hurt you, your child will hurt you, your colleagues will hurt you, your friends will hurt you, right? So what you just said is that the hurt is becoming bigger and bigger. Yeah. Now that hurt is converting into anger.
Yeah.
Right? That anger will convert into shame.
Yeah.
Because you'll
sadness.
not like,
Sometimes it's
sadness.
Or grief. Even.
Grief.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you're not liking the person you're becoming.
Yeah.
Right? So imagine all the chakras are getting impacted. Now, how do you turn them around? You heal them.
Yeah.
Now, when you get hurt, what do? Let's say if there is a scratch on your skin, do you just leave it open?
No.
And we do something about it, right?
Yeah.
Either we apply ointment or we go to the doctor if the wound is bad, or we take injections to at least prevent the spread of the infection. That's exactly what we do with chakras. But that is not a physical, let's say, symptom, right? How do you know? So the symptoms are any negative feelings, any repeated patterns in your life. These are the symptoms. Grief is a big symptom. Sadness is a big symptom. When sadness grows, it becomes into depression, literally.
Yeah.
Right? And when there's a lot of chatter about mental health, right?
Yeah.
Overthinking is nothing but bad mental health.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when we start understanding our own selves, again, the journey is within. Start being aware. Self-awareness is the biggest thing. The minute you're aware, this is not what I am. This is not how I want to feel. Okay. You can even write down for yourself. This is what I'm feeling today. I'm feeling very worried.
Yeah.
I'm feeling disappointed. How do I want to feel? That's very important step, because where do you want to go from there? Do you know that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when we do exercises with people, because I mentor a lot of leaders, the first thing is that I sit them down and ask them to write who they are today.
Mm-hmm.
And then how do they want to see themselves? We, more or less, people either are not aware, self-awareness is less. They just go about life, array, this person hurt me, that person hurt me.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed, that becomes into anger or whatever. Then there are some people who are aware. Okay, so we are just talking about the steps: non-aware, awareness, and then going to mindfulness, and then going to acting upon, making sure that you're not the person who you don't want to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's say you've listed down worry. What do you want to be? Let's say you're hurt.
Okay.
What do you want to be?
If I'm hurt?
Yeah.
Well, I mean...
Okay, just talk about any emotion that you want, is within you, and
Uh-huh.
you don't want it there.
Anxiety?
Anxiety.
Yeah.
Anxiety is fear.
Yeah.
Fear is your root chakra, and sometimes fear is crown chakra.
Yeah.
Right? So what do you want if not fear?
Well, but isn't there resistance when you're saying that? Okay.
That's the whole point.
Okay.
That's the whole point.
Okay. You'll
Yeah.
tell me in a second what do you mean by that.
Yeah.
But okay, because in my learnings, it's like it's good to try to not resist the anxiety so much. It's like that will just keep it going, right?
That's a state of awareness.
Yeah.
Like it's there.
Yeah.
You understand that
And
I'm
it's
anxious.
okay. It's okay that it's there because it's
In that
showing-
moment, it's okay.
it's showing me something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is it showing you?
Okay, so what I would like to answer your question, what I would like is to feel grounded or feel confident or feel less self-doubt.
Yeah. All of this means that you want to be in faith, not fear. You have to have faith in you.
Yeah.
You have to have faith in the universe.
Yeah.
That whatever is happening, I am protected.
Yes.
There's nothing to fear and nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm guided.
Yes.
Yeah. Even if in fear I'm taking the next step, probably I'll go wrong. But when you surrender,
Yeah.
you will always be guided in the right direction. So the movement for you internally is from fear to faith. That's where grounding and protection and connectedness, all of this comes into the picture. Now, if you follow these practices of grounding, there are many spiritual practices where you can actually ground your root chakra. Now, if you follow these practices, let's say if you have a gut issue and the doctor says you eat these food for 5 years, you'll be all fine. So these are similar foods for your chakras. These are practices. You follow those practices, you will come into faith. You will change your vibration. Fear is very low vibration.
Yeah.
Fear is probably around 100 or something. And faith is very high vibration.
Yeah.
Faith is like 400, 500 hertz.
Yeah.
Right? And when you're in faith, you're just flowing.
Yeah.
Because even if there is a problem in front of you, it's going to pass and I'm going to come out with a better solution.
Yeah.
Universe is guiding me. It's okay.
So when we're working on let's say the root chakra, right? So there's many facets to that, is what you're saying, right? There's like a food facet. There's like a physical facet.
Yeah.
There's like a energetic healing facet.
Yes.
Right? And then what else? Is there any other?
So there are many facets, but the healing begins with energy. Yeah, because if let's say, if there is fear, okay, even if somebody tells you eat this food, you will not. fear will stop you from eating.
Right.
So the change has to be in the energy first, in the vibration first. When the vibration starts changing, then everything else starts aligning. Right. So why do people, do you love nature?
Yeah.
You love nature? That's coming from a position of feeling safe. So when you go into nature, how do you feel?
No, I just feel like grounded. I
Yeah.
feel alive.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm belonging,
Mhm.
actually, like just belonging to the planet.
Yeah.
I also feel like not alone,
Mm-hmm.
actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's like that belonging makes you feel that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the point where your fear is converting into faith. So nature is very grounding.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why do
So
people
even
have trees?
environment, you're saying,
Why
is
do
a
people?
facet.
Yeah, it's a facet. So what is your environment? What are you consuming? What are you thinking? What are you speaking?
Yeah.
So fear-based thinking is very different from faith-based thinking. The words that you will choose will be very different when you're fearful, isn't it?
Yeah.
The body will vibrate very
For
differently. Your hands start shivering. You're not in control. Right? So fear is saying, listen, you're not in control. And your hand is telling you, yes, I am not.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But can you heal it? Yes, you can. Absolutely. But
Yeah.
energetically first.
Yeah.
It all starts there.
So you have to start there.
Absolutely.
So is that Reiki?
It can be Reiki, it can be pranic, it can be... now, if let's say if the intensity of fear is too high, then you need someone to heal you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then it's best that you learn to keep yourself healthy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So once you've learned, you just have to keep practicing what you've learned. Right. So let's say if foods like red pepper, okay, or carrots, anything red,
Mm-hmm.
they're for root chakra. There are mantras for root chakra. There are postures for root chakra grounding. There are exercises like just sitting in nature, walking bare feet on
Yeah.
grass, okay, hugging a tree. Yeah, we've
I
all
love
seen
hugging
that.
I love hugging trees.
Yeah. Yeah, because in that moment you feel like a child. Okay. And what is that feeling that, oh, I have somebody who's looking after me? Don't you feel that when you hug a tree?
Yes.
Yeah, you feel very loved.
Stable.
Very stable.
Strong.
Absolutely. So nature has that energy. Walking on the beach, how do you feel?
Yeah, same.
You feel so healed, light.
You feel also like with the ocean, you just feel like small, and then realize it's so big. Everything's
It's
so big.
Exactly. Yeah. Humbling. Feeling humbled is a state of faith. Okay, I'm not bigger than anything else. I'm like just one part of this universe. It's so humbling. It just grounds you totally. Yeah. So
Yeah.
ego actually gives you fear.
Yeah.
So all the lower energies come through fear, and that also has shades. So we are not saying that little fear is ego, or you're very egoistic. No, it's not that. Okay, you have to take it as a flow state. Sometimes you will be very fearful, and if that's the way you are existing, then it's a problem.
Yeah.
Because everybody will be fearful at some point. Even I feel fear, right?
Yeah.
But do I realize it very quickly and I turn it around? Yes, I do.
Yeah.
But was I living in fear constantly 15, 16 years ago? Yes, I was. That was my state. Today,
State.
That was my constant state.
And you didn't even know that was your constant state, right?
I was just feeling it every moment. So
Yeah.
that awareness was missing, self-awareness, right? So there are people who are not aware.
Yeah.
Okay. There are people who want to be aware, but they do not know where to go. That's why we're having this podcast.
Yeah.
Probably they'll fall on the other side where they will be aware, right? And then there are people who will take action on it.
Yeah.
So these are like 4 or 5 groups that I kind of see people in.
Yeah.
And wherever they are, it's their journey and I totally honor it. And we should all honor it because it takes time to come to the fence, then to fall the other side. It cannot be like, oh, I jumped from here to the other side. It doesn't work like that. The child cannot grow from 2 years to 10 years in a blip. It takes time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that what I often feel is I have that awareness,
Mhm.
and I've done a lot of work also. And still there are so many moments where I have a lot of anxiety.
Yeah.
Still,
Mhm.
And you know, so sometimes it's hard for me to grasp. Like I can see it, right? Like I have that
awareness,
observation
absolutely,
ability
yeah, that awareness
where
is
I
there.
can see it, and yet I'm still experiencing it, right? So it's both things are happening at the same time. Like I can look at it and be like, oh wow, like,
and you don't like it, right?
I have
why
this
is this happening
anxiety.
again? Or why?
It's intense, you know.
Yeah.
Like logically, everything is fine, and I'm supported and all the things logically, but I'm still, body is still experiencing that anxiety.
Yes.
And I can't, or it feels like I don't know how to control it.
Yeah.
The only time that it starts to move or release is when I give myself some space to identify why it's there, you know? Like, and so my way is to talk it out, right? Like I'll call my friends. All my friends are coaches. And so I have friends that have expertise in this also. So like I'll call them and just say, oh, I just need to talk this out for a second, right? And then I talk it out. And then because they're also coaches, it's very helpful because then they're saying, is it this? Is it this? You know, and asking me questions. And then I'll identify some piece and something will like shift in that, right? And then, so I'm describing this to you because that's all me moving my energy. Is that right?
It is.
Right?
You in that moment, you've transformed your energy.
Yeah.
By taking some action.
Yeah.
But you had to take action. And that action was to call up a friend and take their advice, isn't it? So it's all about taking action. So therefore, the next step is you have to act upon what you want to change. Now, even if, so do you want a little more help on handling your anxiety?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So, so again, when we said awareness, in awareness, the second step is take that awareness deeper. Which thought, which insecurity is triggering my anxiety, my fear? And you will be able to understand. There will be a pattern on it. Let's say some people have money fear. Yeah, some people have relationship fear. Some people have fear of inability. That, oh shit, I won't be able to handle this. And then anxiety triggers. Some people have control aspect to it. I want to control this outcome. It's not happening, but fear. Oh my God, I'm losing control. So for you, you have to define yourself. Where is this fear coming from? It can be your childhood also.
So I would say that it's maybe coming from feeling everything is on me. That everything's on me. I have to figure it out. I don't know if I can figure it out.
Yeah.
And then I have a lot of ambition, you know. So those are some of the threads. Like I have a lot of ambition. I want to do this. I want to do that. And it's all on me, you know. Yeah.
So how do you define this?
What do you mean?
So the aspects of fear are, let's say, money fear, whether I'll be able to grow enough. Do I doubt myself that I won't be able to achieve this?
Yeah, I think more so. I mean, I think that the self-doubt is probably the root of it.
Yeah.
And then, it'll go into some of the, what's going to happen with my work? What's going to happen with money? What's going to happen in this relationship or this friendship? Or how are people going to perceive me?
Yeah. So now do you understand the aspects of fear? It's not just one aspect.
Yeah.
There are many aspects to it.
Yeah.
So when you write it down, okay, the net result of fear is control.
Yeah, you want to control it.
You want to control everything.
Yeah.
It can be money, it can be career, it can be your family, it can be yourself. So let's say if you want to today not work, you want to just sing and dance or just sleep, will you be able to do that? Maybe not. If you're fear-driven, you'll get up that day, do all the responsibility
the whole time.
Yeah. Okay, and still do what you're supposed to do rather than what you want to do.
Yeah, and you don't feel free, right?
You don't feel free.
You feel stuck
Control.
in your system.
Control.
Yeah.
Everything is controlled.
Yeah.
Now, what is happening is you're controlling your own self. You're trying to control environment.
Yes.
You are trying to control outcomes,
Yes.
the results, everything. That's a lot of stress. So fear is only giving you more fear. So when you write all this down, and fear is a great exercise to do. And fear only addresses one chakra. So you can imagine there is guilt, there is shame, there is anger, there
What
is
chakras are those
sadness,
associated?
all the chakras. I'm going one by one.
Are they inside every single one?
Everyone.
No, meaning like guilt, shame. Is shame associated with like heart chakra, or anger is associated with throat chakra? Is it like that?
Yeah,
or
it is like
that every chakra has all the emotions?
No. It is associated. So fear is with your root chakra. Happiness is heart chakra. Peace is your crown chakra. Peace, calm is also your third eye chakra. And it's also not crystal clear. Like anger can be your solar plexus chakra. Guilt, shame, sacral chakra. So, and there are overlaps also, because every chakra is next to each other, right? So if one impacts, let's say shame impacts your sacral, or your guilt impacts sacral, it will also impact your solar and your root chakra. Yeah, it's a circuit at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Right? So you will also start feeling angry. Right? You will also start feeling disappointed. Why am I not able to get a hang on my fear? Why is this anxiety not going? Isn't it? You feel a little disappointed. So you can imagine that it's growing instead of coming down.
Yeah.
Ideally, fear should lead you to, if you are able to transform that energy, it should convert into calm. That should be a state. Okay, and that state is not a state of control. That state is a state of flow. It's a state of faith where whatever is happening now is supposed to happen.
Yeah.
Even if I get up at 5 a.m., things will not be different. So I have to trust the universe, and universe is guiding me to the right direction. So I need to just surrender. Who am I to control universe? Can you control universe?
No.
Nobody can. You can only befriend universe. You can only side with the universe. Universe is always on your side. We are the ones who are repelling.
Yeah, and I know that also, right?
Yeah.
Like I can tap into that as well, but it's sort of like this split personality is what happens, right?
Yeah.
I can tap into that and universal energy and all of that. And then I can also tap into the fear.
Yeah.
And like I can see both things also. But
you're deeply aware. You're already aware that this is happening, right?
Yeah.
I am aligned and I'm not aligned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And my mind wants to make it wrong that I'm not aligned, which I think makes it worse.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
Because then you're saying I should be more one with the universe. I should allow myself to be in flow state more, which then constricts you and you're less in flow state. You know what I'm saying? So this is like what's going on inside, right?
Yeah.
And so when I come back and I see the anxiety, for me, the only thing that transforms it is identifying what this is.
Yes.
What the anxiety is.
Where is it coming from? Yes.
But the symptoms are exactly what you just said. Like I'm controlling. I feel a lack of faith. I have self-doubt. All of that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just showing up like that.
Yeah.
But deep down, reasons also we discussed, right?
Yeah.
It can be stemming from many reasons.
Yeah.
But still, the next exercise is that it'll go down to one reason or one instance where you felt very fearful. Because you're in that energy, you're only attracting fearful circumstances. So you're also doing
but is
great
that true?
if you're...
Because sometimes I am in that fearful state, but good things are happening also.
They will happen,
right?
yes.
Because even owning your own business, for example, right? You're going through so much fear to even start something, right?
But there was also faith. You
yes,
said, yes,
both things are happening.
So you chose faith. That's how it happened.
But the fear is sitting right. It's not gone.
So it's
right there.
That's life.
Yeah.
We always have a choice of frequencies. Where do we want to operate from? Today, if you do not have work for, let's say, 10 days, the test will be, are you still in faith or are you quickly going into fear? Oh, what should I do? What should I do? What should I do?
Sometimes it's moment to moment.
It is.
Right?
It will be.
Sometimes it's like this moment I'm in fear. Okay, next moment I can do something. And then it's a moment to moment.
Yes.
Yeah.
So again, awareness. And the minute you're aware, what are you doing about it? You're able to convert that energy into something creative. You just said, right?
Yeah.
So I get up and start doing something. You've converted that energy. But there are people who just constantly live in fear. Yeah, because you're practicing spirituality, you've already worked a lot on yourself. Now you're able to differentiate and understand that, no, this is not a state that I want to be in. Let me do something about it. So if, let's say, you've just gotten up and started painting, that itself has converted the energy into creative energy, into fulfilling energy, into flow state, into peace. So it's the whole point is, do not stay in that state. And over a period of time, you would have realized that one, the instances of fear would have dropped from where you started.
Yeah.
Yeah. The intensity of fear would have dropped. Intensity.
I don't know, because if something new happens, then
Sure. All right. So intensity is something that we have to work upon. All right. It's just it's very objective. Fine. This has happened. This needs to happen. And the third is a frequency. Do you feel like fearful more frequently, or is it less?
If I'm starting something from when? Like from when?
From the past. Like if, let's say, you take back your fear.
From the past. That would be like, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it's less. I'm not.
So when you sit down and work, everything peels one by one. How less?
But if I start something new, it all kind of comes back up again.
That's okay. I think we have to also give grace to ourselves.
Yeah.
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 Because if in that moment you're not giving that grace, you're again implanting fear, then the journey becomes very difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, this is mindfulness. We can't be mindful towards others unless we are mindful towards ourselves. It all is within us. When you respect yourself, your level of respect for everyone else will be at that level that you respect yourself, isn't it?
I don't know. I know I keep arguing with you, but I also see people, like, because that's where faith comes in. Because when you're in reverence to somebody else sometimes, or something else, or even Bhagwan or Dev-Devio, or like, there's a way that even if you don't have it, you're able to still give it, because there's a other quality of devotion.
Oh, that's a different angle altogether.
No, totally. But that's what I'm saying. That I'm just bringing some nuance to the conversation around this.
Yeah.
Right?
Now,
Because
if that surrender makes you grow internally, if some realization in that moment comes that there is some problem in me, okay, and I need to change it, the faith can help you change. But there are also people who keep going to prayers, to temples, to churches, and nothing changes in them.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about the part where, like, you can only give what you have. Sometimes that's not totally true, because
there are people who are going
devotion.
They're going out of fear. It's not always about devotion. It's also about fear and control. If I don't go to the temple once in a week, something bad is going to happen.
No, I know that.
And religion has nothing to do with spirituality. Honestly, religion is only some practices that will lead you to spirituality.
Totally. Yeah. All I'm saying is that sometimes, because I hear this in the West all the time, you can only give what you have. You can only give what you have. And sometimes I'm like, no, that's not true. Sometimes I'm in deep self-doubt and deep fear, and I can still be so present with you and give you love and appreciation, and I can still do that.
Yeah, so you have all the energies in you.
Yeah.
Okay, and at that moment, your fear energy is not dominant. You still want to connect with love energy.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, but is your fear energy getting addressed? No.
Is it getting addressed? What do you mean?
It's not getting addressed within you, right? You're not handling that fear energy. It's still inside you.
Yes, right.
Right? Now the fear will play out when you're controlling outcomes. And you just said, like previously, that I'm trying to control outcomes.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's where fear is playing out.
No, definitely.
Yeah. You can't hide energy. You just cannot. In the way we are living life, it's too fast, and we are not able to internalize things. So if you take a moment, okay, and sit with your thought, you'll be instantly able to understand this was fear. This was love. This was respect. This was disrespect. This is calm. This is overthinking. I'm just worrying. Yeah. How do I change it?
Yeah.
The problem is that we are too fast today. We are not supposed to be that fast. We're not giving time to ourselves to correct our own selves. That's it. It's that simple.
How do you do that in your life? on the daily? Like, how do you create that space?
I think now it's become very natural.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and as I said, I've totally surrendered. So universe guides me. If my body needs rest and I want to sleep, and it's 10 a.m. in the morning of a working day, but I still feel like sleeping, I sleep.
Yeah.
I just honor my body. I just honor my soul. Sleeping is just soul wanting to rest, right? So my soul is saying no sleep. I say, okay, fine, I'll sleep. My soul tells me, okay, get up, start working. I start up. I have made my natural state as my real state as closely binding as possible. And I don't do it out of control. Now it's become very natural. It's become rhythmic with me. Yeah, but it was not earlier.
Yeah. Do you feel like there's a guidance?
It is.
You're just getting guidance.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you're tuning with that guidance
Absolutely.
that's yours, and
everybody has that guidance. It's just about listening to it. Intuition. Everybody has it, right? Now, if we are not following our intuition, or we say no, gut, listen to your gut. Yeah, that's your sacral chakra. If you don't listen to your gut, you know that something will go wrong. The minute you follow your gut, you're all aligned, right? Same as with your intuition. That first thought is always right.
Yeah.
Now, if you choose not to listen to it, then it's your choice, right? You're saying, oh, I don't care.
Yeah.
Then the universe will say, I don't care either. Yeah?
Yeah, it's like being more conscious of all of it.
Yes. So one of the parts, the phases in the journey is to be very conscious. And then once your consciousness has gone up, it becomes your default consciousness. Then you will not drop.
Yeah.
It's just constantly raising. And there will be moments where there are blips. It's like a heartbeat, right?
Yeah.
There will be blips. But the minute you fall, you know that I'm going up. It's okay.
Yeah, you catch it. You can catch it.
You can catch it.
Definitely
Absolutely catch it.
I mean, I catch it all the time. And that is because of the level of awareness that I have.
And consciousness is also like this. There are blips, but you're going up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're still going up.
And so when it comes to the chakra system, because sometimes I feel like I'm not as aware of that, right? How do you sort of, I know you might need somebody to help you, but how do you become aware of what chakra is getting imbalanced? Because you're also saying that if you work on one, you're working on all.
Yeah.
Also, right?
Yes.
So how do you self-identify some of this?
The best way is to understand your emotions.
Okay.
That's why we just did this exercise. Okay? What is it one thing that you can identify in yourself that you want to work upon? And you said fear, right? There you go. You've identified the chakra. So fear is associated with root chakra, right? Hurt is associated with heart chakra. Now, why are people having heart attacks? Healthy people. They're running on treadmill, okay? Yeah. They are doing their workouts. They are eating healthy, but they're still having heart attacks. Any thoughts?
They're eating bad food. And they don't even know it.
You won't believe how many people who are eating bad food are still not having heart attacks.
That's so true. Okay, so it's energy.
It's energy.
Yeah.
It's the hurt.
Yeah.
Somewhere they are holding hurt.
Yeah.
Okay. And you can feel it when there is heaviness in the heart. It's like, oh my God, how do I release it? You don't feel comfortable, right?
Yeah.
You feel very, very broken inside. It's as somebody has stabbed me, right? How? Nobody has stabbed you. It's energetic. And typical signs are when a relationship breaks or somebody dies. You've lost something that you dearly wanted, or you did not get something that you were after. Yeah, that just breaks your heart. Yeah, and that's where it starts.
So what can you start to do? So let's say somebody just go through a breakup, and they're heartbroken. And sad and depressed even. And maybe they, realize this. Yeah. They know that they are.
And what can they do about it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, do you want to discuss this properly? Because you're a love coach and love and relationship coach. Okay. So we'll discuss this energetically.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when people come together, usually they are in same vibrations. Okay, it's like energy cannot match a different frequency. Can you tune into radio? And let's say you're tuning into a Hindi radio. Can you hear English music on that?
No.
You have to tune into English radio to listen to English music. Frequency is the same. Now, if you want a certain relationship, your frequency decides what kind of a partner will come into my life. It'll be the same frequency. That's why you say, oh, this person is so much like me. Oh, we feel we've known each other, right? Our values are similar. Our emotional patterns are similar. The way we handle the world is similar, right? That's the frequency. The minute that frequency changes of either of the person, yeah, you will detach. You'll move to another radio station. It can be either. Yeah, and that's why breakups happen.
Yeah.
Frequencies have changed, right? Nothing much has happened.
Yeah.
Now, the way to handle it is one, respect.
Sometimes, but also sometimes, well, in marriage, we'll talk about, I want to come back to what you're saying.
Sure.
But even in marriage, your frequency may go up and then their frequency needs to come up.
Yeah.
And then it can go like that too, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So a healthy frequency pattern is where both the people are growing in frequency.
Yeah.
The minute one person is not growing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It becomes very
dissonance.
disconnected.
Absolutely. Yeah. So there will be a breakup. There will be a divorce.
Yeah.
You can't handle it.
Yeah.
But between that state, till the time you decide you want a divorce, there will be too much of toxicity back and forth, because all that you're trying is to pull that person up.
Yeah.
Yeah. One person will constantly try to
pull the other
match
person.
the frequency. It won't happen. Okay. And it'll snap. You will move to another frequency. And that person will move to another frequency. They're still existing as people. Yeah. But they will be in different paths.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
So when a breakup happens, now how do you understand? Yeah. You're going through so much of pain and overthinking and stuff. The first thing is understand that energy is still attached to the person that you were with. Okay. A physical breakup doesn't mean that your energy bodies have broken up. Yeah. So we need to do certain rituals if you want to move on faster to be able to break that energy. And it's called cord cuttings.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you cut cords, and anybody can do that for you. You can do it for yourself also.
How do you do it for yourself?
It's
hard.
I can teach you behind the cameras.
Okay. Yeah. I was like, how do you do that for yourself? Yeah.
Yeah. See, the whole idea in spirituality is that learn everything yourself.
Yeah.
You should not be required to go to doctors all your life, right? So
Yeah.
today is one relationship, there'll be another one, how long can you go to the doctor to fix you, right? So learn these things. So cut the energy cord. Make sure that drain is not happening. When you're feeling sad, when you're feeling disappointed, when you want to, when you're angry, that's a drain. Mind is just thinking about the negatives. It's pulling you down. Yeah. So protecting your energy is very important. Make sure that you change your environment. Conversion of energy. Go into better environment, talk to better people, write down things that you're feeling, cry. Crying is healing. The sooner you cry, the more you cry, you'll be out of it quicker.
I know when me and my husband, we were love marriage. And when we got together, we were together for 4 years. Then we broke up and we came back together and then got married. And in that period, I think I cried for 6 months.
Yeah.
Just just cried.
Right.
And then there was just this one day.
One day. It was over.
It was over.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just like, okay,
It's done.
I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah. So if you didn't cry, imagine how hurt you would.
or how
you
much I
have-
would hold on to.
Absolutely.
And for how long?
For how long?
Yeah.
It would have taken you probably 5 years, 10 years to just release that one hurt.
Right.
So you healed yourself and then you were ready for him again. Okay, fine. Maybe he's also done his work. And both of you are now again matching in frequency. Probably both have elevated because you've learned a lesson. You've learned a lesson of hurt. And
we repeated the
then the lesson has to be learned
later. But for that time.
For that time, yes.
We raised our vibrations again. Yeah.
Yeah. And we don't have to again grace. Okay. We don't have to expect that, every day we will remain the same people. It doesn't work like that. You will change. Every nanosecond, your energy body is shifting with every thought, every emotion, every action. Chakras are shifting.
Yeah.
Okay, the state of chakras, the density of chakras, the size of the chakras, everything is shifting constantly. It's like your heartbeat, right? So please give yourself grace. Don't start judging the other person. Oh, he didn't do what he's supposed to do. He's acting out of fear. He's controlling me. No, it's okay. Is it a blip? We have to start understanding, is it a blip or is it a norm? There's a difference. Blip happens to everyone.
Yeah.
Like people make mistakes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, is that mistake a glitch in the software? Or is the software only different? I am not able to see that software as a different software. Okay. Then that's not a mistake. Then it's the basic software is different.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to be using that software.
Yeah.
But if it's a glitch in the software, it's okay.
Yeah.
It'll get corrected. That's it.
Yeah. So you're saying cord cutting.
Cord cutting, be mindful of the drains, okay? Release whatever will help you release negative energy. Let's just do whatever. So whether you want to take showers, you want to go for walks, you want to just sit in a park and cry, okay? Just totally honor yourself. You want to sleep. Some people sleep a lot after breakup because they feel light, very light suddenly. Not all breakups are similar, right?
Yeah.
Some relationships are very toxic. Yeah, and when you break off those relationships, you feel so much lighter, as if a big load has been released, and then the person sleeps a lot because the soul is wanting to recharge. The soul is wanting to gain its power back, right? So you need to sleep for that. It's so every situation is around nurturing yourself, honoring your energy, stopping the drain, and coming back to yourself as quickly as possible. You can do hobbies. You can just go and join a dance class. That's very healing.
Sometimes it's like when they're in it so much, they just, I don't want to do anything.
Yeah,
Right.
because you're already low frequency, right?
Right.
So your
sometimes-
creative energy is not dominant there.
Right.
Yeah?
Right.
You're feeling very weak in the gut.
Yes.
Okay? How will you go and have a dance class? Or how will you go and paint? No, you can't.
So you just honor where you're at, right?
Absolutely.
And then it'll start to shift.
That's again internal. If you realize that, oh no, this is not what I want to be, or this is not how I want to be, you'll start doing something that'll shift it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there will be people who will come and therapists. They'll say, why don't you just join a painting class? Yeah, or pottery. Yeah, that's why these newer classes are coming up, creative classes, because the world needs healing. 108 billion people need healing somewhere or the other, right? Now we are realizing, oh, this is a way to do it. In ancient times, it was very simple. You go out in nature and you're healed. You're living in nature literally, right?
Yeah.
You have gardens, you have flowers around you, you have animals coexisting with you. You're eating the most natural food. Yeah. So pollution, all chemicals that we use, the thoughts that we constantly have, the ambition, aggression, all of that has disturbed our energy. See, we say, okay, fine, we have to multitask, but we also have to be focused. What does that mean?
What does that mean?
What does that mean? How can you be focused? These are two different energies.
I don't know. As a mother, you feel like you are able to do both, but I don't know.
In any moment, you can only do one thing. Oh, but if the multitask mind is telling you, oh, I need to do that, disruption of calm, isn't it?
Yeah, but sometimes you do feel like you can be focused on, I'm not saying it's
In that moment,
very focused. That's
see, in
untrue.
an energy flow state, you can be focused and multitask, right? Yeah. But in that moment, in one particular energy state, you can't be both.
Yeah.
And there cannot be two messages in your mind that, oh, I will be focused and I will multitask. In that moment, you can't do both. So that's why these narratives are disturbing everybody's energy states. Like professionals, you have to be aggressive. Aggression is stress. What is aggression? Aggression is you're pushing a lot of energy into doing something. Lot of energy. So what you've done is your body has 100 kgs of energy. You've collected 75 kgs and put through that entire 75 kgs of ball of energy into one task.
Right.
Okay? You've hit that task with one. That's aggression. How will the rest of the body operate with 25 kgs? Then it's stress. then it's burnout. Burnout is what? Body is saying, oh my God, I don't have enough energy to do what I'm supposed to do. That's burnout.
Yeah.
So these are the, I think, moments where we all can be very mindful. If alignment can solve a problem, why do it with aggression?
What do you
Think
mean by
of
the difference?
alignment.
Tell me the difference.
Alignment is when you're doing something that you love doing with all of your passion and creativity, and you're in a flow state. You're absolutely calm doing it.
How often do you feel like you're in a flow state in a day?
At this point,
Yeah.
I think a lot of times.
Yeah.
A lot of times. And the minute I realized that, I'm not in a flow state, the first sign is stress.
Yeah.
Stress means there's some energy imbalance. That's stress, right? Now, if I give you let's say a thread, okay, and we hold the ends of it, and let's say this is a thread, and I ask you to keep pulling it, what will happen to the thread?
It'll break.
It'll break. Now, what has happened energetically between the two of us is there's extra pull, extra energy, which the thread could not handle, and it snapped.
Mm-hmm.
It's energy. It could not handle that amount of energy, right? That is stress inside the body. We are not able to handle the amount of energy we are trying to build. So energy body is snapping. That's stress.
Yeah.
It's exactly physics inside us. You're not able to handle some assignment, some task, some responsibility that you've given yourself. Your energy body is not supporting it. That's stress.
Yeah. So when a stress comes in for you, as an example, you just identify it. You're
Immediately
aware
I know
of
this,
it.
I'm out of alignment.
Yeah, I'm aware of it. And then you start to make the moves to transform it.
Absolutely. In that very moment.
Yeah.
It's like, just calm down. I tell myself, you cannot change the outcome. Yeah.
But when I tell myself things like that, it doesn't transform.
It'll happen. So there was a time when it did not happen for me also. But that's what consciousness is, right? You have to keep on working on it. You have to keep on raising your awareness, keep raising your consciousness, and that's when the internal change starts happening.
Yeah, but it's like, to me, it feels like more like, that's what I was saying earlier. Like, I have to come back and honor the emotion that is driving it.
Yes.
Right? So I get a stress of some sort. And so if I just say to myself from the mind, you shouldn't be stressed about this, it doesn't do very much.
No, that's not how it is.
Okay.
No. You have to honor it.
Yeah, you have to
But
honor
it just
it.
becomes very seamless when your consciousness is higher, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me now, it's a way of life.
Yeah. So now but what you're doing.
But I'm actually doing all the steps.
You're breaking everything apart pretty fast.
Yeah. I'm still following all the steps.
Yeah.
Like,
Which
I'm
is
honoring.
identifying the emotion.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. And then seeing like, okay, where did that come from?
Yeah. Sometimes even tell, why are you repeating this pattern? This is repeating. This is repeating. Okay, now let me change it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I tell myself all this. But probably it took 2 years for one thought to go away earlier. Now it takes probably 2 minutes to go.
Yeah. Sometimes it still takes me days, but it doesn't take me months.
Again,
or
it's journey. It's a journey,
yeah.
right? And
it depends on the intensity of what's coming through. Also,
intensity is also an internal state. Something intense for me might be very casual for you.
Yeah.
Very easy for you.
Meaning, what am I feeling intense around?
It's very personal. It's very personal.
Yeah.
You must have heard some mothers say, why are you worried about this?
Yeah.
It's nothing. And you're like, oh my God, they're not understanding me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
exactly.
it's very subjective.
Yeah.
It's all about our inner state, nothing else. We will see the same situation in different ways, depending upon where are we coming from. So 10 people will look at the same situation and interpret it in different ways. It'll not be the same. There are 108 billion people, 108 billion different frequencies.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So then if we're coming back to the heartbreak thing, you start to just be with the energies that you're with, honor, nurture, you said.
Same thing that we just followed.
Yeah.
Understand yourself. What is happening with me? Okay. And which is awareness. Okay. Respect it totally. Yeah. Give yourself grace that this is what is supposed to happen. Then start consciously shifting your energy state.
Right. And that's where you were talking about the classes and all that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or your environment or
disconnecting with negativity. Okay.
internally.
Okay. If there are, in that situation, if your friends are telling you, oh, we told you this, oh, this is supposed to happen, you did not see this coming, we were telling you all this while, disconnect. You don't want to be you don't want to be shamed for your decisions.
Yeah.
You're already feeling shameful.
Yeah.
You don't want more shame, right? You don't want to feel more guilty about it. You want to start repairing, okay? And guilt will not help you repair.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it won't.
Yeah.
It won't. But sometimes it's also like, I also don't want to promote people just disconnecting from friendships and things like that because they're just trying to care for you. And sometimes you have to say to them like, oh, this is not helpful. Or like, this is like, feels like you're shaming me for where I'm at. You know, sometimes you have to have a conversation.
So those are
about
normal
it.
conversations.
Yeah.
But then there are people who do not understand. So, and
Yeah,
I
there
think
are
we all have that wisdom to know.
Because
where
they're
is
also
this-
just trying to love you, right?
Exactly.
So it's
Yeah.
not coming from like, you know, they're trying to shame you.
Exactly.
They
Like
just
there
don't know
are-
how to connect with you.
But then it's not helping you, right? So in that
It's not
moment, and
helping.
I'm not talking about disconnecting from people.
yeah. Okay.
It's disconnecting from that energy for
Okay.
that moment, right? If those are the conversations,
that's a good distinction.
absolutely. And nowhere I mean people here. I always talk in terms of energy. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So when we start seeing the world in that lens, we know exactly where to disconnect ourselves. Yeah, that's also a conscious shift. We are saying, I don't want to associate with guilt. I know I'm guilty. I want to honor it. I want to give myself grace. And I want to change it to something else.
So, you know, but I fight with this thing, right? Where when you feel like you need to change it,
Mhm.
isn't there resistance to it?
There is.
Right?
Yep.
And so then when there's resistance to it, it's, see, like, my question is when there's resistance to it, it's also harder to change it.
It is.
So then how do you, like, to me, it's just like, okay, this is here
Mhm.
for a reason. But I also get what you're saying, but I also want to shift it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
That's
see
okay.
what I'm saying? There's this dichotomy
Yeah.
happening at the same time.
Yeah. So you are in the middle of your journey. Again, give yourself grace. Yeah. So you want to move from point A to point B, but you're on the way, no?
So I think as I'm talking to you about it, it's more so like what I was sort of saying a little bit earlier. It's like, if you're in that moment where you're, okay, I'm with this emotion, I'm with this anxiety.
Mhm.
Okay. Like I feel the intensity of this anxiety. I don't want to make it wrong. It's here because it's supposed to be here. Then if you sit with that, then you just get curious actually,
Yeah.
right? You get curious like, okay, so what are you trying to tell me?
Yeah.
Right? Like you
Yeah.
start to feel that way. And then it's not like I need to change this or I need to transform this right now. It just becomes light.
It becomes light because you already shifted the energy.
Yeah.
From fear, from succumbing to fear, what you've told yourself is, what are you trying to teach me? Already the energy has shifted. Now you become curious.
Yeah. And you're already observing it versus
You are
being in
understanding it. You're not
Yeah.
judging yourself now.
Yeah.
Okay. And you want to understand it, and maybe you'll do something about it later. But
Yeah.
in that moment, you're just trying to understand.
Right.
Energy has shifted already.
Right. Yes.
But if you stay in a state of fear,
But most people are just like, this is the fear. This is what's true. This is what I don't know what to do. And that's it.
that's it.
Yeah.
Because their journey has not begun.
Yeah.
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 And that's where self-victimization comes into the picture.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because over a period of time, you think, oh my God, why I
This is
I
being done
don't
to
get
me.
anything?
Yeah.
Why am I being victimized for this? Why is this person attacking me? Why my family is not with me? You know how it is?
Yeah.
So it starts playing out in different ways. So one by one, the chakras are getting,
Drained.
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are you like very aware? Like, because I just felt that when you said that, like you're like aware of all the chakras draining and activating and draining, right? Like
Yeah.
you're aware.
Yeah. Yeah.
And can you even identify in a day-to-day, like, oh, okay, it hit, I can feel it here.
Yeah.
I can feel it here.
Yep.
And yeah, because you've done so much work to feel the different
Yeah.
chakras, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But honestly, if anyone sits with themselves, they'll be able to feel it.
Yeah.
Yep. Now, so for example, you go for a coffee with someone, and the very first sight tells you whether it'll be good or not. Yeah. The energy exchange has already started happening. Let's say it's a blind date. right? The minute you see a person, you know where it is going to go, right? And then let's say you start having coffee, and then 5 minutes down the conversation, you feel, no, it's not going anywhere. But you keep sitting. Okay, you finish that 1 hour coffee. It could be a friend, it could be a relative, it could be anybody. You still finish that 1 hour coffee. What has happened in that 1 hour?
You're drained. What if, but sometimes we're wrong too, right? Sometimes we're wrong also, right? Like there's an energy of like, meaning it's hard to decipher the energy of, okay, like if I see, let's take the example of I meet somebody for coffee that I don't know and I see them and I'm already like, oh, I'm judging. There's a judging thing happening. So the judging is then my energy is shifted. Then I sit down and maybe I start talking to them. And then as I keep talking, it changes.
It changes, yeah.
Right? It can change too. But what were you saying?
Yeah, so energy never lies, right? And every moment
is
different.
That first energy was right.
No, there's nothing like that.
Okay.
It's always, there's nothing right or wrong.
Right.
It's all frequencies again.
Okay.
Right? And frequencies are constantly shifting.
Yeah.
And you remember I said that you will reach a basic state of consciousness. We are all at that basic state of consciousness at every point in time. We are just moving through it like this.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there'll be moments where you will feel, oh, I'm aligned. I'm not aligned. I'm aligned with this person. I'm not aligned with that.
Yeah.
But eventually you'll come to a point to understand whether your frequency is matching or not.
Yes.
Whether it's first meeting, second meeting, third meeting.
Yes.
You will get to it.
Yes.
Yeah. So there is absolutely, and see, time is just, we've created time. There's nothing. So whether it's first meeting, second meeting, 1 hour, 2 hours, it's within us. Okay. Frequency will eventually tell you whether it's right or not.
Yeah.
Whether it's aligning or not aligning.
Yeah.
Yes.
With some giving it a chance and then seeing
Yeah.
where
So
you
giving
landed.
it a
But
chance, sometimes people
give too much chance.
call compromise as chance. They know this may not work. See, value systems.
Yeah, they do know. There are times where we do.
In your heart, you know that it is. But if you discount, you say, okay, fine. I was looking for this, but it is not there. But I'll still make it work. You already discounted yourself. You already lowered your worth. Okay, now, okay, fine. I wanted 5 things.
Or
but
frequency. Let's just keep it a frequency.
frequency. I'm available for self-worth is a frequency.
Yeah, I know. I have like a thing with self-worth word.
Okay.
so
let's say we want
because you can get down on yourself because you're like, oh, my self-worth is low. You see the even the word sometimes.
self-love. Let's call it self-love.
Or just frequency.
Yeah,
Because
it is frequency.
Because frequency has no
Absolutely nothing.
charge to it.
No.
You know?
Frequency of self-worth we can measure. Frequency of love we can measure. Frequency of discount.
Yeah.
Oh, I have discounted myself.
Yeah.
Right? I'm just making it, I'm using these words just to make people understand.
I get it.
Yeah, so it's a low frequency. You've lowered your frequency.
Yeah, I like
now
frequency.
you've met someone who's, let's say, at 75 hertz. Okay, but you walked in with 140 hertz. Now you say, okay, fine. After 1 coffee, 2 coffee, your frequencies come down to 75 hertz and you've started liking this person.
Yeah.
Because in the company changes you. Your frequency shifts with the kind of people you're meeting. Now, if you're conscious, oh, I am lowering my vibration. You're conscious of this, you will not lower your vibration.
Yeah.
But it's very natural for a low vibrating person to make you match their energy.
Yeah.
Because they walk off with your energy, vibrations, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's tuning the radio. They'll walk off with your vibration.
Yeah.
And you start feeling 75, they'll start feeling 140. So
Yeah,
energy
it's-
exchange is very real, whether it's your colleagues, whether it's your friends, your relatives, your own parents, your own family. It's very real.
Yeah, and I think it's the awareness that not everybody around you all the time is going to have the similar frequency, right? Like even my own parents aren't going to always be at the frequency that I'm at.
Yeah.
And that's also okay.
That's absolutely okay.
And it's because sometimes people translate all this to mean, oh, okay, if somebody's not at my frequency, then I don't want to be around them. You know, it's very real, like especially in the West, so much is everybody's all about like protecting your mental health.
Yes.
Right. And they've isolated themselves so much because they're literally feeling like I'm not uplifted by this person or that person. And it's actually coming from not being attuned to their own energy or even the frequency. It's coming from protectiveness of themselves. You know what I'm saying? And now that's a lower frequency, you know? So people are mistranslating some of this stuff. That's why I'm just making sure like the way we say it, it's clear. Cause I know what you're not saying that.
Yeah. So just to rephrase this, if you are in alignment, if you are in your power, even if a low frequency person is staying with you, you will not lose your power.
Yeah.
Yeah. You will choose to
and you'll
coexist.
Actually can
maybe raise the vibration of the other person.
Yeah.
Right. But if their frequency is impacting you, then you have a lot of work to do internally.
Yeah.
You have to make sure that your vibration is not just raised, it is also stable.
Yes.
That's important. But if your vibration is constantly dropping.
So then that's the work you do for
we
yourself,
have to do
not
internally.
cutting somebody off.
I mean, see, sometimes you won't believe that nature takes care of everything. It's not that we are having the same friends that we had 20 years ago. People have come and gone out of our lives, right?
Yes.
And so has it happened naturally? Yes, it has.
Yeah.
Universe takes care of it.
Yeah. So
now, how it happens, you just focus on yourself.
Yeah.
Whether it happens as somebody leaving you, whether it happens by your frequency being so stable that it doesn't matter what other people are doing, because they're also have their own challenges, right? Everybody's living with their challenges,
Absolutely.
right? From a place of judgment.
And our frequencies, like you said, are changing, right? So even somebody else's frequency initially may feel this low, and then it changes.
Yeah. Identify your triggers.
Yeah.
If you're feeling angry with somebody's actions or words, it's your anger. Again, you have to do work on your anger.
Yeah.
If somebody's existence or words or actions are triggering your fear, then fear is in you.
Yeah.
Because people will come and go. How? You can't be isolated. You can't live an isolated life. Like that, you can give definitions to every human being.
Exactly.
Oh, this person is triggering my fear. That person is triggering my anxiety. This person is triggering my hurt. No, it cannot work like that.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
So you have inner work to do.
Yeah.
That's the lesson out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then your relationship with the people will totally change, because you're not coming from a place of judgment anymore. You're not self-judging. You're just understanding. You are looking at that person, oh, they are in this frequency. I'm in another frequency. It's okay.
Yeah, because like even just the other day, as an example, I had somebody, I've been doing my work for 15 years. So I had somebody felt bad about something I had done. I didn't know that, obviously. And that's never really my intention, but of course things are going to happen.
Right.
And also the translation might be, I don't know what they translated about what I just did, right? Anyhow, so she was upset about something I did. So what I did was, some people were saying, well, just let her be. Like, if she wants to be upset, that's her problem, and like, that's her translation. You had good intentions. And so I'm hearing all these things, but my impulse was to just connect with her. Yeah. Right. So I connected with her and I just said, share with me like what you felt hurt by, and she shared and she said, oh, I thought you would follow up in this way and then you didn't, And so I said, sorry. I apologized honestly because I didn't know that there was an expectation there, maybe. And maybe I did say something and I didn't follow through on it. It happens, right? Yeah. So I said, I apologize that I didn't follow through in this way, and I'm sorry that you felt the way that you felt. And instantly the energy transformed.
Yeah.
Right?
Did you feel lighter?
Her energy transformed.
Yeah.
As I was fine. I was fine. I wasn't disturbed by it. I was just, meaning I felt like I will say I didn't want her to feel disturbed by it. So I was engaging.
So you were disturbed by it.
So yes.
You were.
So then that's true.
You wanted her to not be disturbed means you are disturbed.
No, that's right. And I'm catching myself because even I want to be like,
okay,
it's fine.
But you acted on your impulse, which is great.
Right.
Which is great, right?
Right.
You didn't tell yourself, oh, I feel like talking to her, but I'm not going to talk to her. I'm not.
Yes. That's right.
You didn't do that, right?
No, I didn't do that.
Yeah. So you changed the frequency instantly.
Yes. Right.
Yeah.
I followed that impulse to want to connect, because my impulse is always to want to connect.
Yeah.
Now, but somebody else's impulse might be to disconnect, but that's not always that's not a higher frequency.
That's okay. As
Per
long as
se.
you've connected with love.
Yes, that's
Your
what I'm saying.
intention is,
That's
Yeah?
what I'm saying.
now if she is approaching you with love, you will connect.
Well, she
Right.
wasn't,
That's okay. You will
but
disconnect.
I connected with her with love, and she felt it. And so then she was just like, okay,
You change the frequency,
yeah,
right?
it changed.
Yeah.
And she just came back and said, I just appreciate that you reached out, and
Yeah.
I understand where you're coming from. And
Yeah.
it was,
Absolutely. It'll
Yeah.
diffuse because love is flow. Anger is what breaks things. Anger is low frequency. All the wars have been fought on anger.
yeah,
Wars have not been fought on love.
yeah,
Yeah. So, but imagine this situation repeating. Like every 2 months, this happens. That you do something and she gets upset.
yeah.
What will happen? Just energy terms. What is happening here? Because these are situations, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
like even with my best friend,
Mhm.
you know, we've been friends for 15 years. And even with her, sometimes she'll do similar things that I understand. It's hitting my, like, okay, my thing is like, I really, when somebody's present with me, I feel the most loved.
Yes.
When they're less present with me, it impacts me. And I feel hurt sometimes too. That is my hurt,
Yeah.
but I feel hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So, and my best friend sometimes, you know, she'll have a tendency, she'll be doing many things at one time. And she does give me her presence, but sometimes it lacks.
Yeah.
So then I'll tell her, right? And then and then we'll work it out. And then we keep going, you know? And then you're also right. There are situations where I've had friendships where I try to open up and discuss as much as I could at that moment in time. And it just doesn't budge.
Yeah.
Nothing, the energy doesn't transform.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It doesn't budge.
Right.
Then it feels like,
Yeah.
okay, something is.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
but
it's
I
not
really love
shifting
what
this-
you're saying here because I think so much of, I do relate to everything around me from an energetic standpoint. But it's very hard for people that are analytical
Yeah.
to even understand that. Even in this conversation, I'm putting some of my own analytics
Yes.
on what you're saying.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then there's this disconnect that
Yes.
happens,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But I'm just emphasizing everything and sort of,
Yeah.
you're working from just energy
Yes.
and seeing the energy.
Absolutely.
And so even when I'm saying the energy didn't budge,
Yeah.
then you're like, okay, maybe it's not going to budge.
It's okay. This radio station is not available today. Let's move on. Let's try something else.
But there can still be love there. It's just that it's not budging.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
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 So when we also break up or we divorce people, we have to just understand where is the decision coming from. Is it coming from a space of love or we are ending in a space of anger?
Yeah.
Now, if it's in a space of anger, nobody will move on. You'll be stuck even after the divorce. Yeah? Your
Yes.
thoughts will take you there. Your mind will be there. You will constantly feel hurt, although that person is not in your life, but they'll keep hurting you. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yeah?
It
So,
will.
so then, it doesn't matter if the person is present or not. It's your own internal state.
Mhm.
However, if you change that anger into love,
Yeah.
okay, and let them go,
Yeah.
okay, release them, and you honor them. Also, like, I look at all such people who've come into my life as angels. It's like next level. If you can take them to that level and say, oh my God, they were planted by God to teach me something, everything shifts.
Yeah.
You start literally saying thank you to them. Thanks for coming into my life.
Yeah.
And time is nothing. You've learned your lesson. Like, what else do you want?
Yeah.
Yeah, today you're happy, you're in love state, you're in flow state, universe is giving you everything. It's so much better than being stuck with the person despite the divorce, right?
Yeah, and you just keep carrying it, like you
People
said. It's
remarry.
draining.
Yeah.
Draining you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
people
because-
remarry and they're still not able to forget their exes. It's
Well, I think that, I think there's some normalcy.
there's
of
some
that.
bitterness still about their exes, right?
Yeah,
That is a sad situation.
that is sad.
That is
Yeah.
really sad. But that happens.
It
It's
happens
a very
so much.
normal thing. Yeah. So imagine there have been people who are living their current life with their current partners, keeping their ex in mind. That's so sad. Which means you've really not moved on. So finding someone new, marrying someone new doesn't really mean that you moved on. Moving on is inside you. I only say it's moving forward.
Yeah.
You move higher.
Yeah. Move higher, move forward.
Move higher. Yeah. Move higher.
Energy.
All energy.
Yeah.
Yes. Love
Like-
and relationship is where you want to keep it.
No, it doesn't have to stay there. What do you mean professionals?
See, it's not just personal relationships. We are also dealing with a lot of colleagues at work.
Yeah.
Right? Those are also relationships that play out.
Yes.
Yeah. And if and why are people stressed nowadays too much? Burnout is the biggest problem nowadays, right?
Yeah.
And that's leading to physical problems, mental health issues, and stuff like that. Now, okay, so we can talk about solutions. You want to talk more about solutions as to what
Yes.
people, if they are into these kind of situations, what are the options that are available to them?
Yeah.
Yeah. So other than therapists, like in India, mental health is not looked upon as very positive. It's like, oh my God, there's some sickness in me.
It's the same everywhere.
Is it?
Yeah. I mean, there's just more openness with it
Mhm.
now, but in general, to have somebody actually say, I need support and get support
Mhm.
for mental and emotional support is hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And imagine we are just ignoring our entire being if we are saying that I will not honor my mental state.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like saying, oh, okay,
One part of me doesn't exist.
oh, I got I broke my leg. I'll just not go to the doctor.
It's ignoring 1/5 of you because 1/5 of your body is your mental body.
Yeah.
It's just cutting it off.
Yeah.
1/5 of is your emotional body, just cutting that off. Okay. You're existing in the bare minimum space, literally. Thought bodies, emotional bodies, spiritual bodies. These are all bodies. They're 5 forms of bodies.
So how do crystals play a role in this? In supporting us? So we're talking about all this energy and identifying it and feeling it
Right.
in your chakras. And so how do crystals help?
Okay, so imagine Crystal as a person who's a very, very positive person. Okay, all the chakras are aligned and they're vibrating at very high frequency. Okay, let's say they are vibrating at love frequency. Okay, and we've seen people who vibrate at love frequency, yeah, very calm, gentle, compassionate and stuff. So let's say crystal is that, a rose quartz. Rose quartz is a love crystal, love energy crystal, and it resonates with heart chakra. And heart chakra is the center of love, right?
Yeah.
The basic function of heart chakra is to nurture our love energy. Now, let's say we are meeting this person who's vibrating at 540 hertz, okay? But our heart is hurt, okay? We are vibrating very low. We are vibrating at, let's say, 100 hertz or less than that. Now, if you meet this person, okay, and you spend time with this person, your energy body will start shifting. How will you feel after meeting this person? He's very kind. He understands you. He's nurturing you.
good.
You'll feel very good.
Yeah.
You'll feel light.
Yeah.
You would want to spend time with this person. Yeah. So what has this person done to you energetically?
Uplifted you.
Changed your vibration.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you start feeling love. You start feeling calmer. That's exactly what crystals are. Crystals are lattice structures. They are formed in earth over hundreds of years. Okay. And they're dense minerals. Okay. They have an energy body of their own. Every crystal vibrates at a certain frequency. Right. So how are we interacting with anybody, any object is through our auras. Aura is the energy body, right? So when a crystal is within your auric field, the exchange of energy happens. It's like you've picked up the phone and I've picked up the phone and we started talking now. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what happens when the crystal comes in through our auric field. They start shifting our vibration.
Yeah.
That's how healing happens. It's so simple. It's that person who's come and healed your heart.
So that's really cool. And then I see sometimes people, they have like many, many different crystals.
Yeah.
So then is it like too much? Like, you know what I'm saying? Is there too many vibrations happening? Like, how do you know what crystal, and do you just pick it up? Do you hold it? Do you just be around it? And how do you know which one to work with?
Yeah. So see, crystals is energy, right?
Yeah.
Everything is energy. So you must have heard that you have to buy with intention. You have to buy from people who have good intentions, right?
The crystals?
Crystals.
Yeah.
Because energy stores in that crystal, right? So the intention is already stored in the crystal, right? When you're buying from a state of fear, oh my God, I'm fearful. I need this. I'm suffering here. I want something to kind of save me. Okay, the crystal will carry that energy. Yeah. But if you're buying from an intention of solving, okay, are you suffering or are you solving? Okay, the crystal it'll align to your energy in that way that it'll start solving for you. Okay, so there are crystals which are complementary, there are crystals which are contradictory. Yeah, so whoever is taking many crystals, it's good, but don't buy it out of fear. Okay, if I buy a lot of crystals, it'll be really good for me and all my problems will be solved. Like for max 10 crystals can solve all your problems. Okay, they can heal you.
And you mean
you have 7 chakras?
What are the crystals for each chakra?
Yeah, so it depends on, again, the energy. Because every chakra is responsible for multiple energies, right? So heart chakra is responsible for love, for compassion, for kindness, for healing grief, okay? And being in a flow state. So we can do a combination of 2 crystals. One is a rose quartz and the other can be green aventurine. Green aventurine will heal your emotional baggage and rose quartz will help bring love. Yeah, so it's like working in synchronicity. One is clearing, the other is bringing. You know how beautiful that thing is. Even if you're doing one, it's absolutely okay because let's say once your baggages and your blockages are removed, something new will come, right? So if I want to place another sofa set here, can I place it without removing this sofa?
No.
Not possible, right?
There's not enough space.
There is no space, right? So when we remove the old, we are creating space for something new to come in. That's exactly what is happening in our body. So when we're clearing the old, okay, where green aventurine really helps, you clear the old stuff and then the new stuff comes in. So you're clearing the hurt and love is coming in. It can also happen with one crystal also, right? So let's say rose quartz. Okay, rose quartz will bring in so much love that you're just raising the frequency and slowly that clearing is automatically happening. Yeah. So we give combinations to quickly do it. Like, remove this, bring in something new.
And you don't actually have to do anything? Like just having the crystal?
Yeah, they're already, because they're vibrating.
They're working.
Absolutely.
They're working you.
So when people ask me, how do I charge the crystal? Like, how can a low frequency charge a high frequency? You can't. Crystals are already vibrating at very high frequency.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just have to make sure that they're clean. Because if they also become dirty, their vibrations drop. And how do they become dirty? Because they are absorbing our negativity from our auras. So they will become dirty, right?
So you have to clear them?
Just clear that frequency.
How do you clear it?
So there are ways to do it.
Okay.
There are crystals that will clean other crystals.
Okay.
Yeah, there is like 4 or 5 many ways to do it. Like sunlight, moonlight, there is salt, there is saging, there is with incense, you can clean it. There are many ways to clean crystals.
Okay.
And very easy ways. Like in 45 seconds, you can clean your crystals.
Okay. How do you know if it's clean?
Crystal tells you it's clean.
Yeah.
It also tells you, so when you are attuned with the crystal,
Yeah.
When you start using crystals, your vibration will be much higher. Okay. And the minute the crystals are not around you, let's say if I'm not wearing this, I will feel different.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's how crystals communicate. So when your vibration is different, you know that, no, I think I should go back to, like when you don't eat good food, your vibration drops.
Yes.
And you want to go back to healthy food, right?
Yeah.
That's exactly what crystals are.
Is there any way to have a combination that hurts you?
It's possible.
It is possible.
It is
So you
possible.
need somebody to tell you?
Yeah. Like on my website, I've not kept, so it's not like a crystal website, right? It's a website that has all high vibrational products.
Yeah.
Okay. For example, even aromatherapy is very high vibrational.
Yeah.
And it's very quick. So when you go to a florist and you buy some roses for yourself and smell the roses, how do you feel?
Good.
Like instantly, there's a smile on your face and you smile in your soul that, oh, wow, it's so nice, right?
So good.
That's what aromatherapy is. And just be mindful that aromatherapy is not fragrance. Fragrance oils are chemical oils.
Yeah.
Yeah. Essential oils are aromatherapy.
Yeah, because they come from earth.
Yeah. So it has to be natural. So we can even do aromatherapy. We can do crystal therapy. We do like a combination of both. Depends on what the person needs. That's how it is. So yesterday I met someone and said that I have allergy of fragrances. So I said, so I can't do any of this aroma shit.
I have that.
So I just asked him, okay, how do you feel when you go to a florist, like in a shop which has flowers? And I feel very nice. So that means that you don't have allergy to aroma. You have allergy to fragrance.
The chemicals.
The chemicals, right? If you are allergic to perfumes, you may not be allergic to flowers.
Right.
Yeah. So there is a difference. We have to know the difference between chemicals, and chemicals will interfere with your energy body.
Yeah.
Yeah. If your energy body is already weak, it'll interfere and weaken it further. And that's where the allergies come from.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you're using natural, it'll only heal you.
Yeah.
So that's a big difference. Like there are so many crystals also which are not authentic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's very unfortunate because there's something which is doing such a noble work and then people are misusing it. It's really sad, but people have to be mindful to buy from very authentic places and from people who have good intentions. That's very important.
Yeah. Okay.
And keep the energy hygiene. Keep cleaning the crystals.
Yeah. You need to do it like daily.
No. Once in 10 days is fine.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
So then how do I know, like, okay, let's say right now I would like to have some crystals on me. Where do I start?
So what do you want for you?
Yeah,
for yourself,
fear.
the fear thing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So there you go. So fear is root chakra. And then you can start wearing crystals that will help you with that. So I'll give you +1. So I'll also give you for sacral chakra. So because, fear also impacts that a little bit. So we can start with, let's say, red garnet. Okay. And we can start with tiger's eye. Tiger's eye is for your gut energy. And because see, to counter fear, what do you need? You want to be very authentic. Okay. That also counters fear. Like when you go on the stage, a fear-based interaction on the stage versus a confidence-based interaction is very different. We've all heard speakers, right?
Just feeling like yourself. Yeah.
Absolutely feeling like yourself. That's what tiger's eye makes you do.
Yeah.
Okay. So red garnet is taking away your fear and tiger's eye is introducing that confidence in you. And there you go.
Oh.
So
Okay,
by
I'll
the
take
way,
2. Yeah.
Sure.
That's good. And that helps.
So a lot of celebrities wear crystals. They use crystals behind the stage. Almost all, honestly.
Yeah.
So you can start Googling about this if you're curious.
Yeah.
Like who are the celebrities who are using crystals, and you will see that almost all of them are.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So also see.
And is it good to wear them more than it is to just
keep them?
Keep them?
It's both.
Yeah.
It depends on like how do you want to kind of shift the energy. So if you're always on the move, which no one is, and not going into spaces, then you do not need to keep crystals. But if you are operating out of space, like we are sitting here, right? If you want to shift the energy of the place, we'll keep a crystal here. Yeah.
The environment.
Yes.
But when you wear it, it's like it's sitting
it's your
with
own
you,
personal energy.
Right?
It's your own personal energy.
Yeah.
We are not interacting with anyone, so it's good. This is good.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Now
Beautiful.
for one more thing with crystals is you will see when they start changing your frequency, it'll support your spiritual journey and your internal journey. So it's not necessary that you always have a problem to solve. Sometimes you don't have problems, but you still want to grow.
Yeah.
Not able to grow is also a problem, that you're stuck. I don't have fear. I don't have shame. I don't have guilt. But how do I take the next step? What else is there in me? Right? Am I supposed to live like this for the rest of my life? No, right? Everybody needs to grow. So the spiritual growth is very important for everyone, right? The more we grow spiritually, the more we achieve in life. Yeah. So crystals help you do that also.
Yeah. That's so important. That last part is so important because I think the spiritual journey is what it's actually really all
That's
about.
the real journey. That's the real journey. Absolutely. Anybody who's you think is very successful, okay, and success again is not related to just money and acquisitions. It is not.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine somebody who's very rich and very unwell, or very hurt,
which is rampant,
or very disappointed with themselves, or they're living in sadness. Yeah. So success is very holistic. Yeah. And then money comes. Money has to be a part of success. We are not saying don't chase money or that. When you just focus on alignment, money chases you.
Yeah. Because there's a flow with it.
There's a flow. There's a flow.
Yeah.
You'll get exactly how much you need. Yeah.
No, this is so beautiful. I mean, I actually didn't know very much about crystals at all.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've been around them and understand that they feel good to me because I can connect energetically.
Mm-hmm.
But this is enlightening in the sense of how they really impact your chakras, how they impact you.
Mm-hmm. Do you want 7
raise your-
crystals for 7 chakras?
Yeah.
Do you want to know? I
Yeah.
can give you just one crystal for every chakra.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if let's say you are starting off on your journey, usually I just recommend that you start from your heart.
Yeah.
Okay, because when the heart is balanced, a lot of things start balancing. There are 3 chakras above the heart chakra. There are 3 chakras below the heart chakra. Heart chakra is the bridge. So imagine self-worth when we say is the bridge. Self-love, right?
Yeah.
So we connect with divine through crown chakra. So we get a lot of messages, guidance from there, right? Then we make sense of that guidance over here. This is Ajna chakra. Ajna chakra is where logic comes in, thinking comes in, planning comes in, vision comes in. Okay, if I do this today, what will be the repercussion in the future? And we try to bring the future forward with this, right? In the present. That's Ajna. That's third eye. We call it third eye. Throat chakra, right? Throat chakra will speak what you're thinking. So this is how they are linked. You can imagine how it's flowing, right? There is a guidance. You're thinking about that guidance. You're speaking your guidance. Now you have to also act on your guidance. So the 7 chakras, the first chakra is the root chakra or the Muladhara chakra. The second chakra is the sacral chakra or the Swadhisthana chakra. The third is the solar plexus or the Manipura chakra. Fourth is your heart chakra, is the Anahata. Throat chakra, Vishuddhi. Ajna, throat, the third eye chakra. Crown chakra is the Sahasrara chakra. So these are the 7 chakras, and all these chakras vibrate at different frequencies.
And so you were saying, so from the crown chakra, you're
So when we get certain guidance, suddenly you're sitting and you just get certain thoughts, right? Where is that thought coming from? How do you know what you need to do next? Somebody's guiding you, right?
Yeah.
So it's coming from your crown chakra. You're processing it here.
Yeah.
Thinking. Because you don't act on every such guidance.
Yeah.
If the guidance comes, I want to slap this person, will you do it? No, you won't, right? You'll think of the repercussions. I know what you're feeling.
I might want to. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. But then the logical energies start kicking in, and then you also visualize what will be the repercussion of my action and stuff like that. So you analyze things over here, then you speak from here. That, hey, take the example of your friend and or you, that you spoke to each other. You expressed, right?
Yeah.
So similarly, when we are working or when we are in relationships, we have to express our most authentic self. We are authentic, our throat is balanced. If we are hiding our truth, sugarcoating, okay, not speaking what we really want to speak, this gets imbalanced, right? Then comes to your heart chakra. Heart chakra is the bridge between the top chakras and the lower chakras. Top chakras are thinking, imagining, visualizing. Lower chakras are for creating. Manifestation comes from here. It's a big thing, right? Manifestation nowadays. It comes from action. Now, if you're just daydreaming, upper chakras are working. That's called daydreaming. If you're not acting on it, lower chakras are shut. So when all the chakras are aligned, the energy naturally flows through all the chakras. You've expressed that I want to do this. Your heart will say, yes, you deserve it. Okay? Your passion, your courage, and your faith will support you in taking that action. Therefore, even the slightest of action needs all energy. Now, if you think of it, if I want to lift this glass, there is a guidance coming. I'm thinking, I'm thirsty, I'm expressing. It may not be verbally expressing, but we still ask for water, right? My heart is saying, yeah, I need to drink water. I'm acting upon it and I'm picking up the glass and drinking.
Yeah.
Every slightest action comes from alignment. When people think something and act something else, do something else, they are acting out of misalignment and not alignment. And therefore, they will always be divided. Split personalities. Classic example. There are many such examples, but yeah.
Yeah, so then if there's that divide, it's like this part of you is doing one thing.
This part of you is
doing another
thing.
So they're not together.
They're not together. And the body can feel the dissonance.
Yeah.
Yeah, there will be unhappiness in such people. Okay, it goes much deeper. Okay, it goes into like the next stage and the next stage. Like such people, if they're not happy within, they will look for it outside. Then they will start pulling in people who will give them happiness. Okay, so then it goes to another subject to discuss.
Yeah. No, but that's so interesting because even everybody does this, but you say one thing and then you're doing another thing, right? So everybody has some version of that.
Yeah.
But it's so cool to see it as, oh, this part of you is doing this.
Yeah.
And then this part of you is doing this.
Absolutely. So imagine your right leg is going here and left leg is going here. Where are you headed?
Yeah.
Think of it like that.
Yeah. Yeah. The thing is, I just remember this. I've had crystals before, and sometimes what happens is I get overwhelmed by the energy. That has happened to me too. Like, I'm like, and it sort of turns into too intense.
Too much?
Yeah, too much. What is that?
You will have to check like what crystals you have.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it only sometimes or is it like
No, it does happen
often?
quite often. If there's multiple, like when I walk into maybe like a crystal store, it happens a lot to me where I'm like, oh my
crystal
God.
store is a unique situation.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But even, I have had situations where I've had multiple crystals and I do feel that way too.
You will.
Yeah.
So either the crystals are not clean.
Okay.
Okay. They are, let's say if you're feeling overwhelmed, maybe they are storing energy of overwhelm from the past. Okay. So you need to release that energy. Second is that maybe your frequency has dropped a lot and you're not able to handle the new frequency. Because the shift also happens gradually. Some of my clients have told me, if I need 10 crystals, just give me today. But I can't, right? Because all of a sudden, if your energy shifts a lot, two things will happen. Either you will be totally disturbed or you will be totally disconnected. Then you'll not even get into using crystals at all. It'll be a disconnection completely. We don't want that, right?
Yeah.
So it's like gradual. I can't give you 10 medicines all of a sudden. Nobody can, right? So you have to observe this. Clean the crystals regularly. Do you clean them?
Yeah. No? Well, not regularly, but yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah. Like
But
every
maybe
10 to 15 days, you should clean
Maybe
your
what
crystals.
you're saying is right. Like I jumped. Maybe there was too big of a jump or something.
Yeah.
happening.
Quite possible.
Okay.
Yeah. And also crystals will...
So, but then what does that mean though? Because it's like, do I just get a smaller crystal so that
No. It's not like that.
so then, or I go to go to another frequency crystal before I go to that one?
Yes. So that's what I'm
That's
saying.
how it
I mean, there
goes?
can be 2-3 things. And so third can be, are there any conflicting crystals that you have? Okay. So you can maybe message me which crystals you have.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I can
But there's
recommend.
such a thing as conflicting crystals.
There is.
Yeah.
There is.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
It's there.
So I get it. Okay. So there's just, this can happen.
It can
and
happen.
it doesn't mean that crystals are not right for you or any of that. It's just that there might be opposing, conflicting
Strong
crystals.
energy where you're already feeling, let's say, intense anger. Okay. And if there is a crystal that is very strong, okay, it can just trigger your anger more. Okay. So it is possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Overwhelm gets triggered a lot of times.
Yeah.
Let's say sometimes people cannot use tiger's eye. Or if you're not ready to change, even then there is dissonance. That overwhelm is somebody's knocking on the door, but I will not open the door. Yeah. So there was a client of mine. She had a lot of anger in her, like so much of anger that she would start crying. And I gave her crystals to clean her anger, okay, to heal it basically. And she started wearing and she started crying even more. Okay. And she said, no, I don't want to wear these crystals because, it's bringing out anger in me even more. So I could understand what's happening because you have to also be ready to let your feelings surface. Not everybody can handle it. Okay. When anger is showing up, that awareness has to kick in that, listen here, there is anger. I need to transform it. And the next, although I had explained to her what to do, but she was not able to follow through on those practices, right?
Yeah.
And now if you're in a hurry, no, I want my anger to go. No, you're not coming out of the faith of this practice. You are depending upon the urgency. Nothing happens in urgency. You have to allow the entire process to unfold, which is you're aware, okay? you want to do something about it, okay? And you take action so that change happens, isn't it? That's what we discussed. Now, if you're stopping yourself at that state of awareness and giving it up, then you'll be stuck.
Yeah.
So you're not ready. So I advised her not to wear crystals.
Yeah.
She's not ready.
Yeah.
So this happens with a lot of people. Crystals will come into your life, and you will, if you're not ready for change, they will either be lying in your cupboard or they'll be lying somewhere, and you will not be aware that crystals are there. They'll just be around somewhere.
Yeah, because they're meant to like activate you.
Activate you if you're using them with awareness. Like I'm wearing all this with awareness.
Yeah.
Right? And I know exactly what they are doing for me, and they will do it for me.
Yeah.
But if that awareness is missing, these are just piece of bangles. It's nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It's been so lovely talking to you, really, because I feel like so much of the world doesn't operate from looking at the world from energy.
Yeah.
You know, it's even though it's the core, like prana, it's the core of everything that we know.
Existence, yes.
and anything that we know. And yet we're not attuned to it. We're not oriented towards it.
Yeah.
We're not aware of it. And so I think this is so beautiful to just support people in relating to yourself, everything from this frequency, energy.
Yeah.
And things start to feel different.
Very different.
Yeah.
You come out as a different person if you understand this.
Yeah.
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 There'll be so much of less of anger, less of hatred, less of wars, less of ego. If we just understand this aspect of our existence.
Yeah, because energy and frequency is not good or bad, right or wrong.
There are no
unhealthy,
judgments. There are no judgments.
per se.
Yeah.
It is showing you what something is at.
Yes.
But that's it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So thank you.
Oh, thank you
you
so
for being
much. It
here.
was so lovely to be here.
I hope you love this episode of Desi Wisdom. Please leave a comment below telling me if you liked it, if you didn't like it, what you would have wanted more of. It really helps me refine this podcast to give you exactly what you want. I will be reading every comment and responding. Also, I know this is the last thing that you're going to want to be doing, but if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. When you hit that subscribe button, you'll be notified of the episodes that come out every single Tuesday. So hit that subscribe button. And if you're ready to binge another episode of Desi Wisdom, take a look at this one. It's a good one.